All right, what's up, guys? We are back with another podcast episode, and this week, since Will keeps pretending to be the host, I decided to just get rid of him, and now we have Aizec.
What's up?
Now the real host is here, and the other guy's gone. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, Will's just in California. He's having some fun, though. I just have to say, he's hanging around with a lot of the Southern California people that I usually hang around with, and all of them keep coming up to him and saying, well, it's nice to see the host of the PB Studio podcast. I'm just letting you guys know right now, I keep receipts. I've seen which one of you guys is in the stories, so I'm going to remember that when I come there in July.
Oh, yeah.
Remember.
Oh, yeah.
So we have Aizec.
What's up,
back.
guys? I'm back.
Second podcast.
Taking Will's place.
For now. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what if Will's going to have to make it up to me. I'm going to need some muffins.
I mean, without Will, we get to film in this sick place.
I mean, it is kind of cool in here. This is definitely better than the virtual pod. I think this looks a lot cooler.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have to explain why you're wearing those glasses.
Yes, the Squirtle Squad glasses, everybody. So,
if you're listening, he's wearing these sunglasses that look like the Squirtle glasses from Pokemon.
they're hilarious. Anyways, the reason why our last review, the Shogun review, I was wearing a pair of knockaround sunglasses that are just round. Actually, I stole them from Will. And by stole them, I mean he had them first and I figured I'd buy some. I was wearing those in the review, and somebody commented and said, those sunglasses make you look like the Squirtle Squad sunglasses. So I said, you know what? I love that comment so much. I'm going to go out and buy a pair of Squirtle Squad sunglasses. And I'm actually disappointed because I wanted to get a full-on onesie for this.
They all just sucked.
They were all really, yeah, they were all bad.
Looked really bad.
But coming soon, I will have the full outfit, and I will make it into a video with my Squirtle Squad outfit. So this is the beginning.
All right. Yeah, you're going to have to take those off because I cannot take you serious while you're wearing those.
Oh, man.
Those are funny.
Too funny. Too good.
Anyways, I think at this point, most people probably know who you are. But if you guys don't, this is my youngest brother, Aizec. The middle one, you guys actually used to see him probably more early in the videos.
He was the first brother to be in a video.
Yeah, that's the one that I usually play tournaments with. And then Aizec is the one that works for me. So there's me, then Patrick, then Aizec, and everyone thinks we look the same.
Yes.
We don't look the same.
We have one
People
time.
also think we sound the same.
Which is absolutely crazy to me. It's nuts.
Yeah.
One time, all three of us were together, and somebody thought we were triplets, which is actually absurd because our middle brother has a full beard.
Yeah, here's the thing, guys. I'm going to give you guys the hint to tell us apart if you ever see all three of us at a tournament, which actually you will, because in July, we're going to the MLP in Michigan for my brother's bachelor party, Patrick's bachelor party.
Yeah.
And here's how you can tell us apart. Aizec is very tall. He's noticeably taller than me and Patrick. He is over 6 foot. Both me and Patrick are like 5'9", 5'10".
Yep.
Patrick has a full-grown beard. Literally, me and Aizec are not capable of growing more than stubble on our face. And then I don't have either of those features, so I should be the easy one to tell apart.
And if we're all on the court, you can tell by who the 3'5" is.
All right, Will's coming back to the pod. Aizec's out. First 3'5" joke, he's out. He's out.
Oh, man, got to keep it alive.
But yes, this is Aizec. You guys have seen him plenty in the reviews. He'll probably be in a bunch more of them coming up. Seems like you guys have liked having him in the reviews, so that'll be fun. Anyways, one other just piece of news quick. You guys in the comments can kind of help me decide this. So we should be closing on our house in July, so that's super exciting. And then we're going to try and get the court built this year. And now I'm trying to pick out the court colors. So you guys should let me know what you think a good color combo is. Because I'm like, do I do something fun that's like the Pickleball Studio brand colors? Or do I just go safe, like green and blue? Because then no one complains.
My personal opinion is it should be Pickleball Studio colors. I think that would look sick.
I just feel like someone would complain about light blue. Like, I feel like the kitchen would have to be the light blue part.
Yeah. Gray and light blue.
I feel like people hate gray, though.
I don't know. I think it looks good. Good contrast with the ball.
I don't know if the gray is, though. The blue, maybe.
You really don't think?
The only thing I'm thinking is the blue might bounce a lot of light up because it's like a brighter color, since my Pickleball Studio color is like light blue.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. There's definitely some fun combos you can do. I've seen some pretty cool ones out there. So
I definitely think it should be something different. It's just basic green and what. I'm just not a huge fan.
Especially since we're shooting a bunch of content there. It just has to
stand
the
out.
ball, everything has to be very visible. Otherwise, like shooting content there would kind of suck.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know. You guys let me know down in the comments what you think, and maybe we'll go over that. Last thing before we get into some other news, dude, the PT stuff this week.
Oh, yeah.
I'm supposed to do it 5 days a week. It's killing me. My butt has been so sore this entire week. And these exercises are not that hard. We're not talking about an hour-long workout. We're talking about maybe 15 minutes of things that aren't that hard. It's like a glute bridge, a banded cat-cow, bird dog, and it's like a side plank where you raise your legs and it like targets your glute. Anyways, my butt has just been on fire all week, and it still hurts. Dude, and I have to start playing again.
We're
tomorrow.
just building on that bubble butt. It's just gonna keep getting bigger.
Dude, I don't know. Or maybe it's all fat down there and it's about to get smaller.
It's gonna shrink.
It's crazy. It's like, I can't wait. I'm going back tomorrow for my fall off, and I'm going to be like, dude.
But have you noticed improvement? Like, I
haven't done anything to know. I've been so sore that I don't even think I could notice improvement yet. Like,
Interesting,
that
really?
muscle is so sore.
Interesting. Because I know some people, like, because I watch a lot of PT content.
Yeah.
And just because I have a bunch of my own physical pains,
Yeah.
so I watch a lot of it. And some people, like, change instantly, and, like, they'll work on an exercise for 30 minutes, and all of a sudden it, like, not fixes, but they notice improvement drastically.
My back hasn't hurt this week, but my butt's just really sore now.
Yes.
Like,
okay. That makes sense.
The soreness is the equivalent of, like, I feel like I just played pickleball for like 5 hours and I was squatting like a madman or something.
Yeah.
These exercises are so simple that I was like, these aren't going to, I didn't think they weren't going to do anything. Obviously, I knew the guy knows what he's talking about, but I was like, these are so easy.
We just got to get you to be able to keep your leg up when someone pushes down and when you're on your side.
Yeah, no, that's probably what he's going to do tomorrow. He's going to be like, hey, let's see if it's any better.
Yeah, see if there's any improvement.
It might not be. Okay, I was going to read up on this more ahead of time, but the document was gone. Maybe I just needed to look a little harder online, but Joola decided to sue USAP this week.
Going big. Go big or go home.
Yeah, Joola definitely decided to go big or go home. I think we all saw that coming.
Oh,
yeah. They kept hinting at that it was going to be, but I can't remember exactly. This is why I really wanted the document, and I'm bummed I don't have it. But there was a lot of things. You never got to read the document, did you?
Not really. No.
There were things in the document that made everyone, not everyone, definitely made USAP look pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's just you can tell it's going to be a big pointing fingers back and forth. Like, I'm pretty sure there was something in that document that basically made it sound like someone at USAP said something to the effect of, it doesn't matter what you give us, we're not going to approve these.
Ooh.
And I was like, okay, well, if that's true, that's kind of crazy.
That's pretty bad.
That's not a direct quote, people, so I'm just going based off memory, what I remember from people screenshotting the document. But regardless, I'm like, here's the thing. Joola has to have way more money than USAP. USAP is a nonprofit. So I'm like,
yeah.
No matter how this goes, Joola has to have way more money than USAP does to drag this lawsuit out. So
there's literally no way that USAP has the money to withstand this lawsuit.
Yeah, the only way I see this going well is if USAP is completely right and it doesn't go on long. But there's so much back at this point, I don't even know who's right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're picking sides, which side are you on?
I don't even think I could pick a side. Like, it's such a disaster. Like, it seems like USAP needed to do a better job ahead of time, and Joola, who knows? Like, if you look at what USAP is saying, you're like, I don't know. It's impossible to say. Like, USAP, well, actually, USAP and Joola are apparently saying, hey, we just sent in the wrong ones, and then I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think
I don't know if you've looked at all on social media about a lot of this stuff, but
No.
if you see a bunch of people's social media posts about the lawsuit and all the being banned and whatnot, it's really funny how there's two sides.
Okay.
There's the Joola ambassadors who are all really pissed at USAP and like, yeah, sue them, like, get their money, blah blah blah, like, because they have to return like 30 plus Gen 3 paddles,
totally.
right? And they're all pissed at USAP. Then there's the people on the receiving end of Gen 3s who are like, yeah, ban them, get rid of them, go USAP. And it's honestly so funny just seeing this war on social media back and forth between these two groups. It's quite entertaining.
Yeah, I go back and forth because the way I see it is, I think if we had kept the Gen 3s, probably fine long-term for the game. But you could not go more power than that. The gearbox is more power than that when it breaks in. And the only reason I think that doesn't get complained about more is because people don't use it as much.
Right.
Joola was literally everywhere.
Yeah.
The gearbox, the smaller sweet spot made it hard for people to use, so people kind of fell off of it.
Plus, there's a lot of people that just don't prefer edgeless paddles.
Yeah.
Like myself.
Totally. So there's that. But with how much they were around and how hard people were able to hit, and also with some of the early like core crushing signs, it was just like so annoying to play against. Like, I'm sure we all would have gotten used to it. I would have gotten over it. But I'm like, okay, it's nice that USAP is actually enforcing the rules that they've had. Same with the Oni. Like, that thing was an absolute missile when it broke in.
They're not only enforcing, they're bringing the hammer down.
But the problem is that they decided to do this when they should have been doing this before these were ever released.
Yes.
That's where I think USAP screwed up. Like, no one would have been mad if these had never made it to mass market, but now that you have people who are like ambassadors, put a bunch of money in to buy the stock, now they have to deal with returns.
Yep.
Like, that's a whole disaster, let alone the people who bought the paddles for tournaments now need new paddles. Like, that's why I think people are mad at USAP, but I don't think I'm mad at them for actually enforcing their rules. What I am mad about is that they should have been enforcing them better a long time ago.
Yes, I agree.
Like, the Oni probably never should have made it to market. Maybe the Gen 3s never should have made it to market. Maybe even the gearbox never should have, like, you know.
Just look at even just grit standards now. Think about back to like the carbon gate and how, these are so gritty and people are getting way too high a spin. And now when the Gen 3s came out, bro, those are twice as gritty as the old carbons. Like,
it's probably not twice, but okay.
They were being a little over.
Yeah, they were gritty.
Insanely gritty. Look, I never saw a carbon that could stick to my shirt.
Yeah.
All right, Gen 3s were stuck to me.
Yeah, I wish we had one of whatever the alleged illegal carbons were, because I bet if we messed with them, it's like probably what
where did mine go? I had one because I used.
But it was also so used, like it wouldn't even
it
matter now. Like
the same.
The grit would be so broken down.
Yeah, I agree.
But no, I think it's good that USAP is enforcing the rules, but everyone's gonna be mad for how they did it.
Very poor timing.
Yeah, very poor timing. It just looks irresponsible on their end. Like,
it's like that guy who's like sleeping at work and then all of a sudden gets nudged and is like, oh shoot, I actually got to do my job. Like, that's what happened to USAP, is like they're sleeping and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, this is bad. We have to do something.
Yeah. Some of it seems like, I'm curious if the gearbox is next. I mean, some of the gearbox just released a new colorway, and they even sent out an email that was like, you know, we're compliant with all the rules or whatever. And, you know, Raphael's smart. I'm sure he thought long and hard before he released his paddle. But all the reasons they banned the other ones, I'm like, the gearbox fits all the things, I would think fits all the things that you guys were mad about.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I'm very curious, because if you look at the USAP rules, there's a rule about, and it's very vague, about no elastic or springy materials.
It's like 2E6F.
Yeah.
It's the one I put in my Oni review.
Yep, exactly. And then you cut open a gearbox and there's literal rubber bands in the gearbox. So where does that elastic material fall in that rule? Because something doesn't seem right there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. But yeah, like you said, Raphael's a smart guy and supposedly they're following all the rules. So I don't know.
We'll see what happens with that one. I'm not going to, let me see if I can actually pull this up really quick. Let's see if it'll just load. I'm not going to read through this whole thing. I might put a link down in the description. I don't know if you saw this, but Selkirk had put out like a whole blog about equipment standards and the future success of pickleball.
I heard about this. I haven't read through it.
Yeah, I'm not going to read through this whole thing because it's long, but I will try and link it down in the description if you guys do want to read it. But, I mean, the long story short is it's like half, I wouldn't say shade being thrown, but a lot of it kind of reads like, hey, we're following the rules. Manufacturers should follow the rules more. Like, we want to keep the integrity of the game safe. And I just seeing comments on social media made me crack up, because people are like, oh, you guys are just upset that your paddles are behind the times. And I'm like, but I will say, you don't really see a Selkirk paddle in any controversy. So like they do, in terms of legality, they hold up well, unless you're talking about like PPL rules, but that's a whole other set of standards. But I don't know, nothing wrong with this. And I actually think there's things in here I agree with about, you know, like one of the things they kind of talk about, let me just see, where is it here? Like one of the lines they have is like, we've come to understand that pickleball is more than a competitive sport. The reasons for its growth are more complex and personal than simply being fun and physical. And then they go on to talk about a bunch of other stuff. And I think they have good points in here. Everyone's been talking recently about, like, you know, the last year, let's increase power. Now everyone's like, let's increase spin. It's like, okay, We have to think about what things are going to come of that. Like, is the barrier to entry going to be too hard? Are you going to have people who don't want to play? Like, why we've all liked pickleball is it was easy to pick up, it was fun, and then we all got addicted and had a great time with it. Like, I don't know that we have to go a lot more, like push some of these boundaries for people to have a good time.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I'd be curious to know. I should do a poll on my newsletter this week. Maybe you guys can let me know down in the comments too, but are people actually having more fun with paddles like the Gearbox and the Joola? Like, it's fun when you have one. Mm-hmm. But if everyone has one,
but is the group having fun?
Yeah, exactly. It's the group having fun.
Because you might be having fun playing with everybody, but you might be public enemy number one out there.
Well, it was like when I first had the Gearbox.
Oh, yeah.
I was having a blast with it. Yep. And then everyone had it, and I was having a lot less fun. Same thing with the Joolas. Like,
no, literally. Back when I had the Alpha, when we came back from New Orleans, and I was playing with people, and I was the only one that had it, people were pissed because they were like, I can't handle this, and you are the only one who has it, so it's unfair. Yeah. And everyone hated me for that.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I just thought the blog post from Selkirk was interesting. You guys can read that if you want to read it. We can't talk about them, really, I don't think yet, but there are some new Pro XRs coming out soon.
Yeah.
It's not long, so if you guys are a fan of Pro XR, they'll be coming out soon. We'll have a video out on that, probably not at launch. It is going to be an insane month of work because of buying a house in July. I'm also out of town 2 times in July during my move and then a wedding. It's going to be crazy. So we're going to try and we're planning out all our content right now, but it's going to be crazy.
You already know this guy's going to be out of town doing all this fun stuff. I'll be back home. He's be like, you're going to move my house for me.
What do you think I pay you for? I didn't hire you to edit videos. I hired it for the day that I knew I was going to move and didn't want to move my stuff.
Free moving truck.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so yeah, those are coming. And then just want to go over some standard shaped paddles.
Yes.
So I am working on a review of some standard shapes. Not a comparison yet. Might do that.
Yep.
But we hit
Apollo.
all of the ones on this wall here.
Yes.
Except I didn't hit the pickle, but
we've been hitting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just weren't hitting it side by side with them.
So I thought it'd be fun if we just kind of went over how we would rank these paddles for what we would personally use.
Yes.
It was really funny. I put up a thing on Instagram. Like I just said, from here's my favorite to least favorite.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people who are like, dude, we'll get to it. But they were like, the one in 4th place, why do you hate that paddle? I'm like, I don't hate it. I'm like, it's just
our least favorite out of these 4.
Yeah. And like what I was trying to explain is like if you had a scale of like, here's really good and here's terrible paddle, and then in the middle is average. I was like, all of these paddles are like over here.
Yeah, above average.
None of them are over here.
Yeah, so exactly.
I just thought it was funny. So, let's I don't know how I want to do this. Well, let's just let's start with the J3K.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
Oh man, what did I think of that thing? I hated that paddle. That thing sucked. All right, let's be real. Yeah, I was not a huge fan of it. The handle felt nice. If I had to say one nice thing about it, the handle feels great. It's very
it's thin.
It's very thin, which is great. Yeah, I like the handle. But yeah, for a standard shaped paddle, now I like poppy paddles. I personally play with the Shogun. I like heavy paddles. This paddle had lots of pop, but when it comes to a standard shaped paddle, that is not what I want. If I'm going to use a standard shaped paddle, that felt horrible. Dinking, could not dink with it.
Because it was too poppy?
It was, 1, just really poppy at random times, and 2, the amount of vibration, it felt like hitting the old, like, Babolat's that Onic used to use, that yellow thing. That's legit what it felt like to me. I mean, I could not play with that thing.
I think you guys are going to have fun with this, because Aizec and I tend to have, I wouldn't say opposite paddle opinions, but almost every time the paddle I like, you don't like, and what you like, I don't. The Shogun is probably the only middle ground we've had. Yeah, it's like the one middle ground we've had.
Yes.
So I think that's funny because I had a complete opposite experience.
You love that thing.
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it's really good. I mean,
if all I was doing with that paddle was hands battles, great. Like, yeah, it's awesome for hands battles. But dinking and everything else, not a fan.
It's really funny you say that, though, too, because this is the slowest one out of all of them. But for what you like, it's still very fast.
Yes.
So my swing weight on this, I think, was 117, which is, for a standard shape paddle, that's heavy. The only other ones that I've really seen do that are like the Protons.
Yeah.
And those are known to be really heavy. So This is higher in swing weight, which I think does contribute to the higher pop and power, because I would say of all the paddles on the wall here, this was probably the most poppy and powerful. Yeah. Now, and I'm just going to clarify for all of you, we did about an hour hitting session. I used the Volair probably the least because I have the most time with it, and then again, the pickle was not in there. So it was mostly divided between the J3K Apollo, and that was it for me. You hit the FatBoy. I didn't hit it.
Yeah, you didn't really hit that.
And we'll talk about why later. But anyways, in that hour, I felt was the most powerful, the most poppy. It's more stiff for Kevlar. So what's interesting is, a ton of Kevlar paddles have come out, right? Since I've reviewed the Ruby, and I think that's the only Kevlar paddle I've reviewed since then, which is crazy to think about because there's so many now.
Yeah.
But the Ruby, I was like, okay, it has decent power, doesn't have a ton of pop. Like, it feels a little softer, like a little more muted than a DBD. And I think the general consensus at the time was Kevlar is a little bit softer, which I still think is true. But with paddles like the J3K, the Azul, the Apollo, those are all stiffer and more poppy than the Ruby. So obviously there's different ways you can lay it up and make it work. But these are fun. And I think the different feels companies are starting to get out of Kevlar is pretty interesting.
See, this paddle, I would classify this as something that you might have fun playing with, but you will not play your best pickleball with.
Why?
It's like it's not okay. When I say it's like the Joolas, I don't mean it's insanely powerful and whatnot, but it is not what it's more poppy and uncontrollable for a standard shape paddle.
That's probably true because a lot of times, whoa, almost dropped that on my iPad. Yikes. Anyways, what's crazy to me is you liked the Gen 3s, didn't have any hard time using that. And this, I don't think is even that close.
It's what I don't like in a paddle is a lot of harsh feedback. I like a paddle that it feels plush, but hits hard.
I mean, that's fair because that, and we're going to get to that with the Apollo too, but that does if it vibrates kind of weird.
Yes.
Which I've noticed with some Kevlar paddles.
If one day, no one steal this idea. If one day we could get sensors that we can attach to paddles and measure the amount of vibration from a paddle, just give it some arbitrary number, 0 to 100. If that paddle is an 85, way too much. Let's just say the Shogun is a 40. That's great.
Sure.
But I just don't like a lot of vibration. Yeah. And that had a ton of vibration.
And I'd agree with that. It does vibrate, particularly when you hit it off the sweet spot.
Yeah.
It vibrates kind of weird. I think lead tape might help that a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I've noticed that with some Kevlar paddles, it just, to me, doesn't feel as good on off-center shots as carbon fiber does. And I know a lot of people, I think John actually feels the opposite. Like, he likes the off-center shots a little more on Kevlar. So it's obviously interesting, how different people have different perceptions and what they like.
Totally.
But I think that's the one thing you and I agree with that is it does vibrate a little weird.
I mean, look at Omric. He's always said that he likes his favorite paddle is a wood paddle. So he likes things that have a really, in my opinion, awful feedback when you miss the sweet spot. So he knows right away if he missed the sweet spot, which
he'd probably like that then.
He'd probably love that thing if it was thinner. I hate that feeling.
Yeah. So anyways, J3K, I think it's really good. Of the 4 I hit that day, I put it in second place. I like the long handle. I think the grip feels really nice. The power and pop were a lot of fun. It's good. The only thing to be aware of is that swing weight is higher. So,
dude, what was the swing weight on it?
117.
117.
So
higher.
Higher. Well,
my swing weight
compared to some of these, that Apollo is 107. Anna Lee is 104.
My swing weight, 10 points higher than that.
Yeah, I know. You're
127.
Okay.
What's next?
Let's do the Apollo.
Apollo.
So, I have similar-ish notes to the J3K. Also, just so you guys know, the J3K is not out yet. That comes out the 25th.
Yep.
But the Apollo, I felt similar-ish to the J3K. Not as much power, not as much pop. Similar off-center vibrations I didn't like as much, or it's more jarring than the Volair. Mm-hmm. And then I would say the shorter handle, not my favorite. Can you grab both those? Can you grab the Volair and the Apollo really quick? I just want to see, because I definitely have an easier time choking up on the... Yeah, okay.
Well, it's the taper on the Apollo is much it's not 90 degrees obviously, but it's more sharp of a turn.
Which I know why they did that. They were trying to get more weight out there to up the twist weight, because the twist weight is the highest on this one. It's like 7.4.
It makes sense,
which is insane.
It's the fastest taper. It's the not widest, but it has the most width downward.
Yeah. So I mean, the shape of this, everyone jokes it looks like a pizza peel.
Yeah, it really does.
It's not winning any looks awards, unfortunately.
Definitely not.
But by far, in terms of value in this list, this one wins. With a discount code, it's like $117.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap.
I don't have pricing on the FatBoy yet. J3K is going to be like $155, I think.
Yep.
Pickle is $160 before discount code. FX2 is $180, and then the Volair is $180 before discount. So by a mile, if you're just looking for value, the Apollo is not even close.
I think it would be, I'm very curious to hit this next to the Quartz when that comes out.
Yeah.
Because that, in terms of value, I think the Quartz will probably be the better beginner paddle.
Yeah. This would be like almost a little more advanced.
A little bit more advanced and more
pop
niche.
And power.
Yes, I agree. And just more niche in terms of shape.
Yeah.
It's a little bit wider. For me, it's just so ugly, man. I'm so picky about the shape of paddle I use. And
it's funny because the Volair and the Spartus are like very similar shapes.
Very similar.
But I like how the Volair looks more. And it's like so similar. Like, it's honestly stupid to even say that, I feel like, because if you hold them up, they're so flippin' similar. But
the bottom of that taper, man, it changes it just enough.
I don't know. It might even be the graphics. I do like how Volair does their graphics. But
yes.
Anyways, in terms of play, guys, it's good. Again, it's a stiffer Kevlar paddle. Handles a tiny bit shorter. So if you don't care about that, no problem. For me, I can put 2 on it. It's just not quite where I want it to be.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's got good pop. I would probably place it all court-ish. It definitely wouldn't be all court leaning power, I don't think.
No.
But I don't know if I'd say all court leaning control.
It's poppy for a wide body paddle.
Yeah.
But in terms of like power paddles and stuff, it's definitely not there. All court control for sure.
So yeah, it's good for the price. Again, you really can't go wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
Toss that back up on the wall.
Yeah.
We'll come back to the Volair in a minute. Let's get to the
Pulsar. Yeah, and by the way, for me, if I had to rank these real quick, the J3K is miles ahead at the bottom, and close second is Apollo.
Jeez, it's so funny. You and I are literally opposite. Like I think our rankings are going to be almost backwards.
Oh yeah,
that's so funny. Okay, FX2. What did you think of this thing?
It was okay. Didn't wow me in any particular categories. I kind of like how it looks. The shape of it is not offensive.
No, shape's totally fine.
It's
definitely basically like a Scorpius.
Yeah, it's definitely on the softer side, which isn't a bad thing. For some reason, I didn't really get very good spin with it, which I wasn't a huge fan of when I was trying to hit top spin drops and stuff.
Sure.
And dinks.
It might just need to be cleaned. It's pretty dirty.
It is pretty dirty.
I think the initial RPM numbers I got off this thing were decent. But.
Okay. Yeah. But when we were hitting it that day, it was okay. I could probably play with it, but there are other things I preferred.
Yeah. So
off-center shots felt particularly worse on this than the Volair for me.
Sure. So this one was interesting to me because Ronbus is a very cool company. Like Dong puts a lot of thought into the designs.
Yeah.
However, what I would say, or at least what I feel with the Nova and this, the Nova was more of they were claiming like a core crushing solution, and then they were saying, you can, with the grid, you can basically get more power depending on how you tightened up the pattern. So the grid, like they laid a carbon fiber grid underneath this, and they were trying to say, kind of plays like a string bed. It'll get you more pop or more power, and you can kind of tune that. But as it's hitting this, I just really didn't feel like it was doing anything.
Yeah.
I mean, again, guys, let me be very clear for the Ronbus fans out there. This is not a bad paddle.
Agreed.
This paddle is totally fine. I could go to a tournament with this, and I would not hate it. But for what I guess my expectation going in was, it didn't meet that expectation. So, like, very cool concept. No one else is trying that. None of these are doing anything like that. So it's very cool, but I just didn't feel like it was adding anything that one of these others, like, didn't have. Like, J3K I felt had more pop and power and didn't need the grid. I would say the feel of this, like on off-center shots, like I don't get that bad vibration that I did like on the Apollo or the J3K.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and the shape, again, it's not offensive or anything. It's totally fine. Fit 2 hands on this, totally fine. I don't know. I just think it just didn't really do anything that wowed me.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. That's kind of what I felt.
Which isn't bad. Like, not every paddle has to wow somebody, and like several people in my Discord, that's why they like this paddle.
Exactly. I think so many people get confused by that. When we say a paddle does not do anything special and does not like wow me, it does not mean it is a bad paddle. I think this is a fantastic paddle for a lot of people. It is just not a fantastic paddle for me.
Yeah, totally. So, yeah, I don't really have much else to say with that. And again, what I will say is maybe I just need more time with it, right? Again, this is some initial thoughts from 1 hour where we're cycling between the paddles and just getting like an initial feel of what we like, what we didn't like. Obviously, if we were going to do a review or a comparison, we would clarify better, like, who is this for? Like, here's what we noticed with this. These are just some of our initial thoughts. So,
yeah, it's not like we spent a lot of time hitting each one of these. It was very quick, just hit a few shots, swap.
This would be like the start of like a week or 2 week long thing.
Yeah,
is how they usually go.
Yep.
Okay.
So, Volair.
Let's go to the Volair. This one is my favorite right now. I
love
this thing.
You played Texas with it.
Played Texas with it. I'm probably going to play Newport Beach with it.
Nice.
I just feel really good with this paddle. And it's been out for a while. And like, you know, there's already reviews on it. I might still do a review on it because I just like it that much.
Yeah.
Personally, I think this is one of the best control paddles you can buy right now. I think this is really good. The feel is really nice. The spin is great. My soft game I feel really confident with. And actually, we have a video that'll come out 2 days after this podcast. But I just think being confident in my soft game and having adequate put away power is all I really need. I don't need to crank the ball all the time. In fact, I think I'm better if I don't. Like when I'm tense, I can reset better and whatnot. So I like the handle length. Like, it's just a good overall paddle. In terms of the value scale, it's not bad. Like, it's still under $200. Discount code, it's like 160. Yeah, 180 before discount code. So it's not bad, but it's not going to be the Apollo either.
Exactly. So the value king is definitely the Apollo.
Yeah.
Performance-wise, I would definitely put the Volair above the Apollo.
Yeah. Well, here's what's interesting, though. I actually don't even know that it's like... if you were to put these head-to-head and just say, like, objectively performance-wise, I think they're probably very similar. But it's just going to come down to what you prefer in the feel.
Yeah. It's very nuanced things when you get to that point.
Because like on this, I feel like this thing is insanely forgiving. Like when I miss, I feel fine. I feel like the ball still has enough like energy when I miss and I'm resetting in the court. I'm not popping it up way too much. The feedback I get from it feels really good to me. So for my personal play style, like this thing just like rocks.
Yeah. Off center shots on that felt way better for me. And when we were playing,
finally something we agree on.
Yeah, I know, right? Wow, that's rare. When we were hitting, when you were swapping back and forth, and maybe this is just a mental thing for him, your resets were way better with this paddle. And maybe that's just...
I also have the most time on it.
That is
so it's
true.
Not fully fair, but I do, in general, I think I would reset best with this no matter what.
You were definitely most consistent across the board in terms of drops, resets, and hands battles. I think you played the best with this paddle. Yeah. And again, that could be just because you have the most time spent on this paddle.
For sure. So yeah, I really like this, and I'm going to just briefly talk about it, but we have the pickle. So we haven't done any video outside of the skin one that I did on the channel, and I think these would be worth getting to, but I kind of want to do like almost a comparison of these. So
shape is so similar.
They're similar. They are different.
Yep. Think the taper on the head is slightly flatter on the pickle.
Yeah, slightly flatter on the pickle, and also the neck tapers a little differently. It's
a little wider.
Extremely similar. Extremely similar. But they are a little bit different.
Yep.
Anyways.
PIKKL. Yeah. Just for anyone who's only listening, by the way.
Yeah, not PKOLL or PCKL or PIQKLE, however you want to spell.
Too many.
So many of them. Anyways, I think this goes head-to-head with the Volair, like, very easily. Yeah. I could probably use this about the same as this, and this is the better value. This is 160 before a code, and I think right now I got to talk to them. I think my code isn't on for some reason. But Yeah, this would be a better value. Obviously, they get great spin.
And you would play with the 16, not the 14, right?
Well, I need to hit the 14s more.
Okay.
So really the main reason I'm drawn to this right now is because I picked it up and I just liked it, and I haven't had time to hit the 14.
Sure.
14 might be a little bit better, but I like all the control I'm getting with this. So I'd be curious to put these completely head-to-head and see how big of a difference I notice.
Yep.
But I don't think, again, you can't go wrong with any of these in this list. Like, if you are comparing, if you're like, do I want the Hurricane or do I want the Volair? And you're like torn, you're like, money is the difference, then just buy the Hurricane.
Yeah.
Like,
at this point, man, it's honestly so hard. It's harder for a company to make a bad paddle than a good paddle.
100%.
Like, you cannot make a bad paddle in today's age.
If you make a bad paddle, you like had to try to do that. It's crazy. So I do think there's going to be some similarities there, probably some smaller differences in probably overall pop or power, but hard to go wrong with either.
Yeah. I liked this. Off center shots felt good. It was fast in the hands. Resets felt fine. Like I said, off center shots felt awesome. And surprisingly, it had a decent amount of power on drives and overheads.
Here's what's funny about this one to me, that you like this one, because it's just like if I'm looking at this list, besides like maybe the Hurricane, it's probably the softest one in the list. It's probably the most control oriented in the list.
Yeah, and the reason why is because if I'm gonna play with a wide body paddle, that is what I want. I want a softer paddle because that is the game I'm trying to play.
But
with
maybe
that paddle.
maybe if it had the swing weight that you like, maybe you would like it. You'd like want the power then. I'd be curious if we set one of these up to like your elongated specs, what you would think of it.
I still won't like it as much as an elongated
Well, for
paddle.
sure. You're so picky about the shape, which is insane because you're longer than I am.
Yes.
You have the reach that I don't have.
Yes. So I have even more reach now with an elongated paddle.
This guy. You want to toss this up on the wall?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, FatBoy.
Moving on.
So this one's not out. We did get approval that we could talk about this, so we'll show it to you guys.
It just looks so good.
It does look
the color
really good.
scheme, the design. I mean, Butter makes really good looking paddles.
Also, FatBoy is just a hilarious name for this
So
paddle.
awesome.
I mean, because it's their first standard shape, like that's hilarious.
Well, really quick, funny story. I was playing with Patrick the other night with some friends, and Patrick was using it. And this girl that I was playing with, after we got done with a hands battle at the kitchen, she goes, "What does your paddle say?" And me and Patrick just go, "FatBoy." And she was like, "Man, I thought I read that wrong." And we're all like, "Nope." It is just so funny.
And the donut for the O.
It's so good.
Which looks really good.
Yeah.
They always crush the design. So I haven't hit this one much.
Yep.
Only a little bit. So
I've probably hit it more than you.
You've definitely hit it more than me.
Yeah.
I've hit it for like 5 minutes, I think, maybe 10. But in terms of the shape, it's like a combination of all of these, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
It doesn't have like the ugliness that the Apollo does.
It's got the flatter like roundness of the pickle, and then it has the neck taper of the Ronbus, and just mishmashes them together. And for some reason, it looks really nice. Like, I like this shape.
Also, the like curves of the text match the curve of the
body.
But anyways, like the design's great, but that doesn't really help you on the court.
Yep.
What did you feel in this list this was like the most comparable to?
It's interesting. I would put it in between that's tough. Probably in between the Volair and, in terms of feel, the Apollo.
Yeah.
Where this one had a little bit of vibration, where if the Volair is like basically no vibration, pillow, feels great off the paddle. The Apollo has got some vibration, not as bad as the J3K, but still enough where I'm not a huge fan. This is right in between, where it's not enough for me to be like, ugh, I don't like it. Enough where I'm like, this could definitely be solved with lead tape. And for some reason, the shape of it, because it looks nicer to me, gives me more confidence. So I actually played really good with it. I just, for me, need an elongated paddle because my hands are so big for a 2E.
Yeah, I think, again, haven't hit it a lot yet. I'll be very curious to see where it is going to slot against like in Apollo, because my guess is this one's going to be more money, and the Apollo's obviously an insane value. So I think the FatBoy is going to have a little bit tougher competition there. Yeah. But we'll see. Maybe there's some nuanced differences that will set them apart more. But my initial thought with them both being Kevlar is that the Apollo is going to be a tough one for this to get by.
I also kind of like that. So it is Kevlar, but from a distance, I kind of like that it's very subtle, and you can't really tell that it's Kevlar until you get close.
Oh, sure, because it's like the blue or whatever.
It's a darker blue. Like the Thrive Azul up there is very obvious that it is a Kevlar paddle.
Well, it's funny because I feel like it's like this where it's harder to see. Like to me, the red ones are the obvious ones.
Well, the red are definitely very obvious, but with the Azul, there's more contrast on the dark blue and there's a lighter gray, where this is like both blue, the pattern.
Sure.
And it's harder to tell. Not that it matters. It's kind of nice that it doesn't stand out as much.
Sure.
But yeah, it's interesting.
Wall. Yeah, so
good paddle.
Don't know exactly when that's coming out, but it might be one to keep an eye out for. So let's go over just our, we're probably like pretty long in this pod and we still have like a whole other topic to go over here. But let's go over just our overall ranking. We'll leave the FatBoy out for now because I haven't really hit that enough to give it a good ranking.
A fair ranking.
Yeah. So mine from 4th to 1st of what I would go to a tournament with, again, doesn't mean these paddles are bad. Yep. They're all good. FX2 was in 4th, followed by the Apollo, then the J3K, and then the Volair. Yeah. And some of those slots, like the differences are very small. Like to me, the difference between the J3K and the Apollo in terms of what I would take, some of that is coming down to the handle is longer on the J3K, and I like that a little more. And the extra pop and power is kind of nice, but I could take or leave that. So those are almost interchangeable if I was going to a tournament. Handle's just a little short.
Yep.
And then to me, this was ahead by a decent chunk. Like this, I feel the best with this right now.
Yeah. Where would you slot the Hurricane Pro in there if you had to?
My guess is that's between the J3K and the Volair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. We're almost opposites in some categories. J3K is 4th. That is bottom. It's a shame because I like the handle on that. At like almost
crazy
the most out of all
that's
these.
last.
Yeah. The Apollo is 3rd. The Pulsar, Ronbus Pulsar is 2nd, and the Volair would be number 1. And then the Hurricane Pro is probably in between the Ronbus and the Volair for me, or around. It's almost like tied with the Ronbus.
It's so funny that your opinion is so wrong, but that's fine. Will has wrong opinions on this pod all the time too.
Hey man, I don't know. People in the comments of our reviews have been liking my opinion over yours recently.
No, I don't think they like the opinion. I think they just like having another guy to look at. They're sick of seeing my face in the videos.
Hey, speaking of looking at, that's why I go by the BLO. If you know what that means, you're a true watcher of the pod.
No, it just means they hang out in Discord too much. That's really what it means.
Well, that too.
Okay.
Anyways.
All right, let's go over. You know what? This is just going to be a gear podcast this week. Our primary topic, honestly, I'm going to save that for another week because I think we would just go way too long in this pod. So this is a gear podcast this week, I guess. Okay, next thing we want to talk about is the kitchen bag.
Yep.
So people have been talking about this for a minute. Braden and John have had it for a while. They've been doing lots of stuff. We finally got the public release ones. And it's an interesting bag. So if you guys don't know anything about it, it's Kitchen, KTCHN. Yep. And then it is a $300
no
bag.
Vowels.
Yeah, no vowels. And it's $300.
It is
the most expensive pickleball
bag.
Yeah. But I think the ADV isn't 300, is it? I think it's less. 250, 280?
It's around there. It's like 275. It's somewhere in between. Yeah. It's just a little less.
Yeah. So that's the that's the bag that Will did a collab with.
Yep.
So we've been using the bag. It's pretty good so far.
Yeah.
It's very different from what I normally use.
For sure.
I always carry a tank. This is not a tank.
Yeah.
The 6.0 bag, you can hold like 17 paddles if you wanted to.
Ridiculous.
So it's great for work. But for my personal play, I don't need a bag that big. Like I'm just hauling way too much crap.
Work and travel.
For, the 6.0 bag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I've just always used that because it's just been a little easier. But I had my eye on this bag when I started hearing about it because you could tell they put a lot into it. One, both you and I like bags. So just so you guys know, camera bags are really expensive.
Absurd.
I have been doing camera stuff for over 10 years now. So I've been through quite a few expensive bags. Like $250+ bags is not new territory for me. And I've not had a problem spending that much money if I know the bag's going to be good.
Yep.
Right now I use I think it's around $250. It might be $300 Peak Design bag. They make awesome bags.
And for all you people who think that might be absurd to spend $250+ on a bag, if you're carrying around $15,000 plus in camera gear, $250 is nothing.
Yes. Now, for pickleball, it's going to be a little bit different story when
yes,
you have a $117 paddle and your bag costs twice as much as the paddle.
Little different.
So I'll get to that. But quality bags are nice to have. I love my Peak Design bag. Super great. Awesome materials. I've beat that thing up and it's still looking new. Okay, so the kitchen. It has some cool features. One of them in particular is it has this ball magnet that basically it's on the side and it's a magnetic door. You just plop it open. Flap. And it's like a cylinder where you can drop the balls in and then you can just pull them right out. It's very cool. It's
has an elastic tube that the balls just slot into. Very easy to access and store.
So that part to me is cool. I love magnets. That flap is so good. It just feels
There's
so
magnets
satisfying.
everywhere on this bag.
I know. It's so satisfying to open and close.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. It has 4 paddle pockets in the main compartment. It's like sleeves that the paddles slot into.
Yep.
That design's fine. Not something that in most of the bags I've used, but it's fine so far. And then just got pockets all around the bag for
can fit a 17-inch laptop, which is nice. If you're traveling if you're working or stuff.
Me.
Yep, exactly.
So, and I think the reason, if you're looking at this bag, there's a couple reasons you would want it. One, the quality materials. I can tell this is just like the camera bags I have. Like your Peter McKinnon bag, isn't it like $500?
Yeah, so I use a Nomadic backpack, which if you know them, they make luxury bags. Yeah. And I have a collab bag with Peter McKinnon, guy who does videography stuff. Very expensive bag. It's like $400+.
Yeah.
Absurd. But I love it. It's big, carries all my stuff. It's a tank.
Yeah,
I think when they released this thing, they threw it out of a car going 30 miles an hour and then pressure washed it and it was fine.
Yeah.
And the kitchen bag, fun fact, is made out of the same materials as this Peter McKinnon bag, which is awesome. So yeah, it's a $400 bag, very expensive, and feel-wise and just comfort with the bag, the kitchen bag, very similar to that backpack, which is awesome.
And I would say it's actually really funny. It's because the bag is smaller and, holds less than like my 6.0 bag, but just walking around, because I've used it for over a week now.
Yep.
And it's just so flippin' light. And I know it's because it has less stuff in it.
Right.
But even still, like on my back, it just feels...
Well, I also just think it's more ergonomic and it fits your body better. The straps and the padding on the back is way nicer than like the carbon or the 6.0 bag. The shape of it is a very uncomfortable shape on your back. Where this is like designed better to be on your back.
That could definitely be part of it too. It just kind of feels like a backpack.
Yeah.
Like a good backpack.
Right.
So that part is nice because I'm like, is there even anything in this bag? Even with my water bottle on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, is there anything in this bag?
Which, speaking of water bottles, there are 2 water bottle pockets on the sides of the bag, which more magnets. When there's nothing in it, the magnets keep it closed and tight to the side. But man, these water bottle pockets are unlike any others. They can fit such a massive water bottle with ease. Yeah. And I love that. And the fact that there's 2 of them, very nice. Yeah. I very much like that design.
Yeah, it does hold it really well. And then so he's done his own durability testing. Grub from Kitchen has done. I've watched all his videos of him trying to beat the crap out of these bags. But it's like, you know what? I don't have a reason to not trust him, but it's like, I'll test it myself. Yeah. It was pouring rain yesterday.
Yep.
And I looked out the window and I was like, this is perfect. It's like, I'm going to put my bag out there. So I just put it out in the rain for 20 minutes. And I was like, let's see what's wet inside. Literally dry all inside that bag. No pockets were wet. The only area that got wet at all was the magnetic ball pocket. The liner in there got wet, but the ball itself didn't even get wet. So basically no water really got in the bag. And I was like, okay, for 20 minutes in the rain, why would you ever leave it? You're never going to leave your bag 20 minutes in the rain.
Yeah,
you're probably talking about like you run to shelter and it's fine or whatever, or maybe you forget for a minute. Mm-hmm. So you're never going to do that. But then it started raining really hard. Yeah. And there's a gutter right next to our apartment. So I was like, I'm going to put it under the gutter where it's pouring rain into the bag and just let it soak for as long as it can. And that was like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And the bag did get wet in there because the gutter was literally dumping the water into that ball pocket. So water did seep to the bottom, but I wiped everything down. It's completely dry.
Well, and all the zipper pockets, nothing got through any of the zippers. It
all
was
the zipper pockets, nothing.
Just through the magnet pocket.
Which makes sense because it's not tight.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it's not
sealed.
Like it's not sealed.
Yeah, it's not sealed. And the fabric is exposed, so it can soak into the fabric and go through there.
Yeah.
But again, when are you ever going to be sitting under that much water for that extended period of time.
I'll try and give you the clip so you have it so people can see, but it was an obscene amount of water going out of that bag.
Yeah, it was nuts. But
also,
very impressive.
The bottom of the bag is this like harder, rough material. Kind of reminds me of like the court, like a pickleball court.
It's like a texturized
gritty.
Rubber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it stands up great. Bag doesn't fall over. If I dragged it around a court, I wouldn't be worried about it.
That's an underrated feature of bags, by the way. A bag that you can set down and will stand up on its own.
Because your Peter McKinnon does that, right?
Yes. Yeah, it is awesome.
I don't think mine will. The standing up is really nice. I like that. It just feels easy to access things when you open the pocket of it. And there's lots of videos about this bag, guys. If you want to watch it, just search kitchen bag unboxing or something, and you can see all of it. We're probably going to do a video, but probably not for close to a month, because I really want to beat this bag up. Because I think if you're buying this bag, you're buying it because you want a bag that doesn't look like a pickleball bag, you can bring to work, but still use it for pickleball, and you want something with quality materials that are going to last. So I want to see how it's going to hold up, because I think all the other videos can kind of talk about the features. We don't really need to go over all that in a review.
That's been covered plenty.
Yeah, and so people can figure that stuff out. But I want to know what it's like to really use the bag and just see if there's any issues with it. Because for $300, you better be getting a darn good bag.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, which the materials are very premium. There's really small touches about the bag that are really nice, like the key and phone like pockets.
I do like that.
Have like a felt liner, which is a small touch, but makes it feel very premium.
Yeah,
like
for
it's
sure.
Very nice.
It's also what I like is it's in a spot that's easy to access. Because with my 6-0 bag, it's kind of just like a bottomless pit, which it's not a bad bag, guys. For being a big bag, it does that great. But stuff just gets lost in it all the time. So I'm like, even if I put my phone and keys in some of the same pockets, I'm like digging through it. I'm like, I don't know where this is. Because this bag's a little smaller, you're forced to not just put junk everywhere. But
so, speaking of it being a little smaller, that we've said a bunch of things we like about it. What is something you would change to improve it for you?
For me, I think the thing that would help the most is would it be the depth?
Yeah.
It's not depth like down, but depth like from your back.
Yes.
I wish it was like...
Yeah, depth. Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know. If it was 3 to 4 inches bigger, I think it would be a little bit better. And the reason is because when you put 4 paddles in the bag, there's another area where you can put stuff at the bottom of the bag in front of those pockets.
A cavity.
Yeah, just a cavity. And the paddles push forward so much that it's kind of hard to reach your hand down there. So like I've put stuff down there and I'm like, oh, it's kind of hard to get down there. Or there's stuff that like just makes it feel tighter.
Yep.
So I think if they did that, that would solve my biggest complaint, because there is a pocket near that bottom too, which a lot of people don't actually know. I didn't know for a while. And sometimes it's just hard to access that pocket. You can't really see it as well.
There's definitely a lot of space eaten up once you fill it with paddles, especially if you also carry around a laptop and you put that in there. That front cavity is going to be very small.
It's going to be so hard to reach.
So far, all I've used that for is a spare set of clothes. That's what it seems to be good for me. There's not much else I would put in there. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. Adding some depth to it there would help the bag a lot. But I understand why they didn't do that, because the shoe carrier attaches to the back. It would just stick out so far from your back if they made it bigger.
How do you carry your shoes? Because I just wear mine to the court. I literally never put them in a bag.
This guy is psychotic. He likes to wear his shoes everywhere. And like,
dude, I'm telling you, my court shoes are so comfortable that I would just wear them as regular shoes.
That's crazy. No. So I actually put my shoes in the shoe carrier, but I don't attach it to the bag. I actually like to carry them separately, which I actually like that feature. At first I was a little iffy on it and I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, because with the carbon bag, I actually put them inside my bag always. But your shoes stink after you play, and it's attached to your bag. And as much as they try to keep it separate with a different material, it makes the rest of your bag stink. So having
you must have some nuclear shoes.
Dude, I just get sweaty, man. All right. My feet get really sweaty, but I like to have it separate because it's not attached to my bag. I can just carry it around in one hand. It's light. It's again, premium material, same material as the bag. It's really nice. So I actually just like to carry it around like a briefcase in my hands with the shoes. That's the best.
Wouldn't have to carry anything if you just put them on your feet.
That's crazy. Walking through puddles and rocks and stuff in his court shoes.
Don't walk in puddles.
I see you do it all the time.
Whatever. Anyways, I think that's the biggest thing for me. It does feel a little cramped that way. And if you do put 8 balls in the thing, it kind of compresses into that area a little bit. So I think that could be a little bit better. But honestly, I'm pretty happy with the bag overall. Again, I need more time with it to see like if these things do continue to annoy me. Do I feel like that's worth it for $300? Here's what I'm going to say right now, guys. If you're listening to this and your immediate reaction when you heard $300 and you're like, that's absolutely unreal. These guys are off their rocker. They are morons.
If you're the type of person who paused the video, went down to the comment section and said, you lost me at $300, this is not the bag for you. I'm sorry.
No, well, this is exactly what I was going to say, is if that was your initial reaction, I promise you the bag's not for you. Like, if that was your reaction, don't buy the bag, buy a cheaper bag. Totally fine.
Yep.
Like, it's just not for you.
Exactly.
And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I do think it's a good bag overall.
Yeah. If you're the person who plays every day, doesn't carry around 100 paddles, you have 3 or 4 paddles you really like, this bag is awesome. If you play local tournaments, you play local parks with your friends, and you're not carrying around a ton of stuff, this bag is fantastic, and I guarantee it will last forever.
Yeah, would you, because you carry a lot less than me, would you carry it to a tournament or would you use like a different bag, like your carbon?
At this point, I would use this bag. I would carry this to a tournament with me now.
Okay, I guess you really only carry 2 paddles. I can't decide if I'd carry it to a tournament yet or not. I do tend to carry a bit more stuff. If I didn't do 4 paddles, which I really don't need for a tournament,
I'm typically carrying 3 at this point now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll see. I'll have to see if I'd carry it to a tournament. Maybe I'll bring it to Newport.
Kansas City, PPA, and Vegas, I'll bring this kitchen bag. I'll probably have 4 paddles with me, have my shoes. It has everything I need. So yeah, This will be my primary bag now. I love this thing.
Okay. We'll see. But yeah, it's good. We also, the version that we had, they have 2 versions. So Kitchen has their own, and then Bread and Butter has their own like collab with it with the pattern inside. I think the pattern looks a little more fun.
Yeah.
On the Bread and Butter one, but you can choose whichever one you want. They're
it's
the
also
same
nice
exact bag.
Because the liner that's like Bread and Butter themed is orange and white, so it's very bright on the inside.
It's easy to see.
Very easy to find stuff
pet
inside
peeve again
the bag.
With my 6-0 bag is it's black. So
it's a black hole.
Okay. My keys and wallet are black, so I'm like, where's my key and where's my wallet?
You're just dumping everything out of your bag till you find it.
Yeah.
I've been there.
But yeah, so it's a pretty good bag. We'll report back later when we have more info. One of the last things I want to talk about before we get to the kitchen.
Yeah.
Hesacore grip. So I've been using this for a little bit. So they sent these to me when 6.0 started like coming out more. So that was January of 2023. I got it and I was like, I don't care about this thing. I was like, whatever. Didn't care for it. Stopped using it. Then everyone started using it. I was like, okay, I'll try it again. Try it again. I actually like it. But I have a slightly different take on this thing. So a lot of people are like, it is the best thing since sliced bread. It's going to make your game better. It's going to make you hold the paddle better. It's going to do your laundry. It's going to do whatever. Sometimes when I hear things about this, that's how people like advertise it. And I'm like, guys, it's just a grip.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know what this is, basically, sorry for the crude way of putting this, but it's the only way. Every time someone hears about this thing, this is how they think about it.
Yep.
It's like a condom for your grip.
Yep.
It's basically, that's like how it slides on.
Yep.
So
it's silicone.
It's silicone. It slides on and just has all these different bevels that your knuckles can like slot into and make it just a little bit easier to feel the grip. So I don't think that this is definitively better or worse. I think it just depends.
I would say it is a feel preference.
Yes.
If you are looking at any of the claims online, ignore all of the improvement claims. This will make you hit the ball better, blah, blah, blah. It's not true. It's just like the Pro XR handle when they first came out with better reload speed. Ignore.
Maybe the reload speeds are insane on the Hesacore. Maybe they're 10%
maybe that's
faster
why you
than
like
the old
it.
Pro XR. Yeah, reload speed's off the chart.
I would say ignore all those claims, but it does feel nice. It is, some people, you either love it or hate it.
Yeah.
Funny that my partner, when I played Nationals last year, was not using one, and walking around at Nationals, a guy was like, hey, you should put this on your paddle at some booth, and he held it and then literally switched to using it the day of our tournament.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. So some people, you either love it or hate it. For me, I actually kind of like how it feels, but I don't use one. It just doesn't seem like.
But
it
if you had
benefits
it,
me.
would you use it?
Maybe. Yeah,
Okay.
I think I would have to get used to it. It's not something that offends me. Like, I like how it feels. I just feel like it is a hassle having to swap it back and forth between paddles.
Yeah, putting it on different paddles is kind of annoying. And I will tell you guys right now, if you've already bought one of these and you've dealt with this, you know how absurdly insane this thing is to put on. And someone from a Discord gave me an amazing tip on how to put this on better. And now it literally takes me seconds to put this thing on. So if you're going to put this thing on, find rubbing alcohol and like pour it down the inside of the grip. And then I put it after I take my overgrip off the paddle, because you want the raw grip or whatever. Yeah. Put rubbing alcohol on that as well. And the thing just slides right on. It's so much easier. I have like ripped these trying to put it on without that.
If you're a golfer out there and you've had your clubs regripped and know how that works, it's a very similar process.
Yeah. Same thing, and it slides right on, and then taking it off, like it just rolls right off or whatever. So once I learned that, I was like, okay, you know what? I think if anything, that would have been one of the reasons I hate it, because the first time Sarah and I put this thing on, they have these clips, these like slides that you like put down, and then they say to get it wet and it helps slide the grip on. No, we like cut our hands with it. It was so annoying. Honestly, it was like 20 minutes to put the stupid thing on.
Maybe you need to make a video on just how to put these on.
I probably should. I should just
honestly
do like a
Instagram short.
That's not a bad idea.
You could make an Instagram short on how to put that on your paddle.
True. And they have lots of different ones. And I'm going to get all of them soon because I want to compare them. But they have a pink one. That's the thinnest one. They have a white one, which is like the standard thickness. They have an extra long one for long grips. And then they have like a carbon fiber one that's stiffer, and then a gel one that's not as stiff.
Yeah.
The one I have on this is the pink one because I just don't want my grip to be gigantic.
Yes. I like that one the most.
Yeah.
Thinner, the better.
If you're grip sensitive, definitely get the pink one.
There's a few pros that use them, right? Like Jaume,
Thomas Wilson, Jill Braverman, Hayden.
I think Hayden did start to use it.
Tyson.
Oh, really? Tyson?
Yeah, he had a bunch of paddles with it on.
Okay.
So here's the thing, guys. It's cool. It is kind of expensive. It's like $25, and I don't have a code right now. I'll probably ask him for one when I do a review.
Yep.
But it's just different.
Yeah.
Like
sure.
When I don't have a paddle without it, I'm not like, oh man, I need it. Mm-hmm. But I have it. I'm like, yeah, like
nice.
I put it on the Volair this week, and I was like, yeah, I like how this feels. So that's our thought on Hesacore.
Yeah.
It's not going to be earth shattering, but it's
not going to improve your game, but it might improve your comfort level.
Yeah. Though, with how mad it might make you if you don't use the rubbing alcohol, it might make you worse.
True.
Okay. We made it to the kitchen. Yeah. This is a long pod episode.
Actually, real quick, before we go into this, and we'll keep this real short.
Okay.
Initial quick thoughts of MLP. Did you watch? What games did you watch, and what was interesting?
Yeah, I watched on and off. Not a ton this weekend, mostly because we're like trying to pack the house for the move or whatever. But got to watch a few. I'm trying to remember the exact matchups. I know I got to see Ranchers versus Hustlers. Mm-hmm. I got to see the Night Owls versus Florida Smash a tiny bit, and then I just caught a few. Like if I was in between stuff, I'd just put it on the TV and I'd like catch some stuff.
You were watching Carolina against Ranchers, right? Ben John's team.
No, is that the one where they went to a Dream Breaker?
Yeah.
No, I literally turned it on as that was ending, and I was bummed.
I thought we were texting. When we
was
were
that
watching.
today?
Yeah.
Okay, today. Whatever one was yesterday, I missed that one.
Right,
I saw a little bit of that today, but still not much of that one.
Okay.
But one thing I will say is watching Kwangdong play, I like watching him play doubles.
He has been rocking people.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but just how wide his stance is, and he like just looks ready to explode all the time. I was like, I want to learn to move like him.
He reminds me of Thomas Wilson. Extremely athletic and just very fast.
Yeah.
So he was very entertaining to watch. I liked watching him in Dream Breakers. I'm very disappointed. He was destroying Ben Johns in their Dream Breaker, just wrecking them. And somehow they still won.
That one was close, wasn't it?
It was fairly close. But man, somehow Colin Johns coming in clutch in singles. Who knew?
I mean, they've said all the time he's good at singles.
Yeah.
He just doesn't play it.
Yeah. He did. They did well. He kind of carried them through the Dream Breaker. They pulled it out. It was like 21, I don't know, like 18 or something. I can't remember, but it was fairly close.
I'll be curious when we go to the one in Michigan, because Patrick was saying today that one is like a regular tournament, so there will be a winner at the end. And the thing about the last two MLPs for me is when I'm watching it, because it's all points based, I just don't really care.
Less on the line, it feels like.
If you're watching, there's nothing that builds up throughout the weekend to be like, it doesn't build to like a final. So I'm like, okay, cool. This team got 2 points. This team got 3 points.
Well, and there's just so many matches to watch.
There's so many matches to watch.
Too much to watch.
Yeah, like I work in pickleball. So my entire week is pickleball, including most of my weekends is spent working at, like, we're recording on a Sunday right now. And it's fine. I love that. But the like one day off I have, which is like Saturday, I don't usually just want to sit and watch like 10 hours of pickleball.
Yeah.
I'll usually turn some of it on and catch some, but it's just going to be specific matchups that I want to see. And with less on the line, like there's no final to watch, I'm like, I don't really care. So
it's just not a rewarding ending to see like, oh man, they played well through the tournament and then all of a sudden they pulled it out in the end, or maybe they played well and then, you know,
didn't
flopped. Yeah, they flopped in the finals. So it's just less on the line. It's less entertaining, I feel like, that way. I actually do like it being a more tournament style and having a winner at the end of the event. But they brought the freeze back. What do you think of that? Do you like that?
I like having the freeze more. I know people hate the freeze, but I like it more.
Do you know how games.
Anticlimactic it feels for someone to win on like a missed serve return or something? You know, just like it just feels dumb.
Imagine being Connor Garnett and just having the yips and just hitting the back wall with your serve and losing the game.
I don't think that would happen though, would it? Because
without the freeze.
Oh yeah,
we don't have to win.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, without the freeze. Imagine not having the freeze and it being like 23-24 and you miss your serve to lose the game.
Yeah.
That would suck.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
Yeah, like no thanks. I like having the freeze. There was close games. I think there was a women's match that was 29-31.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which is absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. So I like it's more entertaining, makes games closer, more dream
interesting to see when we go see it in person, because I've always had a good time in person at the MLP events, but I almost feel like I prefer watching PPA if I'm watching on a computer, I feel like I almost prefer watching PPA over MLP.
Interesting.
I don't know that for sure. I mean, some of the matchups this last one were fun, but I don't know. I think I'll enjoy it even more in person.
I think if you're watching with a group of people and friends, MLP is more fun.
Agreed.
But if you're watching solo on your own at home, just watching regular PPA is better. But I think having parties and stuff like we did with some of our friends last year, watching the squeeze, way more entertaining, easier to get hyped. It's more fun that way.
Yeah.
So MLP is good for groups.
For sure. All right. So the kitchen, guys, this is just a lot of memes today. So here's the thing, guys.
Oh, yeah.
This co-host meme has gone too far. I don't actually mean that, but it is so funny to me how you guys have latched on to this, because literally all of this happened because when I did an intro, I slipped up and said I was the co-host. Yeah. And instead of just redoing the whole thing, I just kept it in there because it's funny.
Yeah.
Now Will's in California and everyone's like, yo, it's the host of the Pickleball Studio podcast.
Where's your co-host?
And not even that. Even funnier is like on videos now.
Oh, yeah.
These make me laugh so much. One guy goes, thanks for a great... This was on the Shogun review. Guy goes, thanks for a great review, Aizec. Nice to have your brother Chris's opinion as well. And I was like, geez Louise. And then one guy said, with Aizec joining the review videos, does that mean Chris is now the co-host of the podcast and the paddle reviews? I was like, holy crap, you guys. So I commented back to that one and I said, I feel like next you guys are going to tell me I'm the co-host of my marriage.
Yeah. I just love how this meme keeps evolving and changing and it just sticks with everything. It is honestly so funny.
It's so funny. Seriously, guys, every time I see these, I have a good laugh. We were texting them all back and forth, like me, Aizec, Will. We were just sending them all. I was sending them to my wife. I think they're super funny.
Yeah, keep coming up with funny ideas and commenting them.
Or don't. Or we could just call me the host.
That's just not as fun.
Honestly, at this point, I don't even think that would be as fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like now that would be less
fun.
fun.
People are just so creative and so funny with this. I love it. It's very entertaining.
Yeah, you guys always have very funny comments on the pods and the videos.
Yeah. Speaking of comments, we have lots of good comments from Will and I's match in Texas.
Yeah, so you guys posted, or you edited, Will posted on his channel your guys' first round match.
It was cool because it was on Grandstand. It was early in the morning, so none of the pros were using it. So we got the privilege of playing on it. It was awesome. A lot of space. It was very nice. Good court. Played really well. Will and I won it fairly easily. I think it was 11-6, 11-8. They cleaned it up in the second game, but good match. Good way to start the day. And yeah, edited and posted that to Will's channel. And the
comments were out of hand.
Comments were legendary. And the title of the video is Aizec Olsen better than Chris?
Will using me as clickbait.
Oh, man.
Literally using me as clickbait.
So good. So first one that I love, Jordan Briones, shout out. He says, taller, faster, better looking, ? Which, obviously.
Jordan, you're on my, I don't know what list, but I'm going to put you on some kind of list.
Somebody replied to him and said, and more athletic as well.
These people. They're not wrong, but these people.
One person said, Aizec is 3'5" at worst, which I'll take it. I like it. He's trying to evolve on it. One of my favorites actually was Chris plus OP length equals Aizec Olsen.
Yeah.
Which
if you guys don't know what OP stands for, it stands for overpowered.
Overpowered, yes. So, which honestly is kind of true. I'm just a taller, better version.
About to be a version without a job is what you're going to be.
One
of my favorite ones was, what was it? It was like, Chris got the better spelling.
Yes. Speaking of the spelling of my name, for those of you that don't know,
dude, but here's what's crazy about your name. No one ever knows how to spell it. Obviously, they're going to spell the default way because yours is crazy. But
exactly,
a ton of people get your spelling right, even on videos where your name's not in the video or the title.
Yeah,
like on my channel, people they'll comment your name correctly, and I'm like, how did you know?
I'm actually very surprised by that, and I don't know if that's because I've been shown more like on Instagram, and I've actually been getting a ton more followers on Instagram. People have just been finding me from being in the videos and stuff. So I don't know if you're seeing my name in there or you're from the Discord, but yes, a ton of people are commenting and spelling my name properly, which is shocking. But there's also still a good handful of people who are not. Yeah. So, but yeah, for those of you that don't know, it is pronounced Aizec, but spelled Aizec. So very different. I've never seen another person out there who spells it like that. I swear I'm the only one. Yeah. So very strange. But yes, somebody said Christopher got the better spelling, which I agree.
That's how you know mom loves me more.
I can't argue with that.
She said, you know what, if this kid's going to get the height, he's going to get the worst spelling.
That's fair. One person commented, and I'm not offended at all. I genuinely just want to know what you mean by this. So if you're watching, please comment and tell me. One person said in the Shogun review, Aizec looks like how his name is spelled. And I died laughing. I thought that was the funniest thing, but I just don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult.
Exactly. It could go both ways.
He might just never let you know.
That's true.
He might leave you on red.
You know, all of you people out there watching, if you have an opinion, let me know what your thoughts on that are.
Yeah. That's really funny.
There's a lot of good comments. Let's see. There's a couple more good ones I wanted to go over. This is a great one. One person said Aizec has a better voice than Chris.
Which is hilarious to me because so many people say we sound the same. So I'm like, what does that even mean?
Hey, I don't know.
People be like, yeah, I thought you guys were the same on like the pod you were on. And I'm like, then this guy's like, nah, he sounds better. I'm like, okay, whatever.
I don't know. One person said he's got a stronger back, which is very true.
I mean, that's true.
That's
my
just
back is real weak right now. Actually, it's not my back.
It's your glutes.
It's my glutes.
But both.
Maybe my back is stronger, but my glute is just so weak that my back has to. Yeah, look, my back has to carry my glute. Your back doesn't have to carry your glute. It's supposed to be the other way around.
My back was strong enough to carry Will through Texas. So actually, somebody commented that. So yeah,
that's funny.
But one last one I wanted to go over, which I thought this was a really funny comment. Somebody said, and at first, the first time I read this, I read it wrong. So I'll let you guys can interpret it how you want. But it says, Will, who beats women pros, is stacking with Aizec on the left? Question answered.
What? Question answer? What does that even mean?
Is Aizec better than Chris?
Oh,
and Aizec Will's stacking me on the left.
Did he even say that in the comment? Did he even mention my name?
No. But that's what he means.
Oh, let me read this comment. There's no way that's what that means.
The bottom one.
Let me see.
Because the title of the video is Aizec better than Chris?
So he's just Will, answering. Who beats women pros is stacking with Aizec. Okay. Yeah, I forgot what the title of the video was. Okay, that makes sense.
So he answered. Yeah, that's question. Question was answered. So yeah, if you haven't watched that match, Will stacked me on the left. I am a left side player. I'm very tall. I like
This guy's like JW. If you put him on the right, he's like a fish out of the water.
I seriously forget how to play the game.
This guy literally becomes a 3-5.
It's funny because, and I'm not going to claim that I'm like JW because obviously he's way better than me, but I like to forehand, shovel, scoop, dink. I hate speeding up off the bounce, and I speed up my volleys because I have long arms and I like my backhand roll, which actually, speaking of backhand roll, somebody commented and said, Aizec Olsen, I thought that was Ben Johns. Look at those backhand rolls. So
your roll does remind me a lot of Ben's.
Yeah,
it's a good roll.
I really like my roll. So yeah, love the comments. You guys are hilarious out there. Keep bringing them on the pod, on the reviews. They're hilarious. Love you guys. They're awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, that's all we got. It's so funny. Literally every single week when I am making the outline for the podcast, I go, wow, there's not that much to talk about. And I bet you this podcast was like an hour and a half long.
Yeah, this is a
and
pretty long one.
We even skipped the main topic we were going to talk about.
And I was actually kind of excited to talk about this because I had some interesting opinions.
We'll save it for July because we'll come back to this for sure. I was like, well, we don't need a 2-hour podcast and then waste a good topic or something.
Yeah, true.
So.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Stay tuned, guys, because this one's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was fun.
This was good.
New studio, new podcast. No Will. Got to step it up, man.
Goodbye, Will. Sorry, Will. It's not looking good for you. Not looking good for you.
No, it's not. Well, with that,
yeah,
that's the end of the pod.
We'll catch you guys later.
See you later, guys. Bye.